All right, let's take a look at operations with functions. So you have y equals 2x minus 8. Okay, this can be written as f of x equals 2x minus 8. So you're just replacing the y with f of x, which is read as I guess I just read it, f of x is equal to 2x minus 8.
This is a listening check. Color in y equals 2x minus 8.
All right, so now let f of x be this. So they're saying let f of x be that, let g of x be this, let h of x be that, let j of x be this. So we have 4 different functions. Now your question is find f of 5. That means whatever is in here, you're going to replace it with 5. So so first you find the letter f, right? So that's the one you use it. So I'm going to write that down. So I'm going to write f of x equals x plus 7. All right, now notice it says f parentheses 5, right? So f parentheses, so instead of x, we now have the letter 5. So what you're going to do is replace this with 5. So that means if I replace an x with 5, anywhere I see x, I'm going to replace it with 5. So that's going to be 5 plus 7, which is equal to 12. So f of 5 is 12. That's pretty much all there is to it. Let's do another one, j of negative 1. So we're looking at this one, j of negative 1. So that means where I see an x, instead of x, I'm putting negative 1. So I'm going to write this out, negative, and then open a parenthesis, and I see an x, so I'm going to put negative 1. Close the parenthesis, then I see a squared, then plus, then I see a 6, then another x, and instead of x, remember we're putting negative 1, minus, and then 4, and whatever that is. So negative 1 squared is positive 1, times negative 1 is negative 1, so negative 1. 6 times positive 6 times negative 1 is negative 6, and then negative 4. So that's going to be negatives meet negatives meet negatives, so it's going to grow in numbers and just be negative. So that's going to be 6, 10, 11. H of negative 3, that means I need the one with h, not f, not g, but h. And where I see x, I'm going to put negative 3. So I'm going to write it out, 2 over 3, and then I see an x, always put it in parentheses, negative 3, anytime you're replacing the x. Then I'm negative sign, and then 1. Okay, so I'm going to write this out because you might not be so good at fractions. So I'm going to write it out just in case you're not. When you're multiplying fractions with a whole number, it's like you put an invisible 1 underneath it, and you multiply the numerator and multiply the number. So I have, let me just write it like this, 2 times negative 3 over 3, and over here you put the invisible 1, and then minus 1. So 2 times negative 3 is negative 6, 3 times 1 is 3, and then minus 1. Negative 6 divided by 3 is negative 2 minus 1. So negative 2 minus 1 is minus 3. All right, now you will see questions like this where they're telling you to add 2 things, multiply 2 things, subtract 2 things, or divide 2 things. What you have to do is find them individually. So f of 5, we already found f of 5. What was f of 5 equal to? 12. So f of 5 is equal to 12 plus j of negative 1. Did we already find j of negative 1? We did. J of negative 1 is equal to negative 11. So we're going to replace j of negative 1 because it's equal to negative 11. Okay. Is this good or bad? This is bad, so that's really going to be 12 minus 11. And then positives meet negatives. Who wins? Positive wins by 1. So that's all the combination is you just find what they gave you, or if you didn't already find it, you find it, and then you add them together. So h of negative 3, did I already find that? Yes, I did. H of negative 3 is equal to negative 3. So this is negative 3 times f of 5. F of 5 is equal to 12. So a negative times a positive is a negative. And then 12 times 3 is 36.
This is a listening check. Color in negative 36.
All right, J of 0, sorry. So I didn't find J of 0, so this one I actually have to fine. So I go back to J here, and I put everywhere I see an X, I'm going to put what? A 0. So I've got 0 squared times a negative is 0. So I'm going to put this whole first one in parentheses, okay? So I've got 0 plus 6 times 0, which is 0, minus 4, minus h of whatever 3 is. So I'm going to replace here with 3. 3 times 2, remember, because you do multiply numerators, multiply denominators, 3 times 2 is 6. 6 divided by 3 is equal to 2. So that first one is equal to 2. And then minus 1. Okay, so now I have 0 plus 0 is 0, negative 4. So that's negative 4. And then minus 2 minus 1, which is 1. So negative 4 minus 1, which is negative 5. More negatives. All right. How about this one? G of 4. So again, you have to find G of 4. So G of 4 goes on top. I'll put it in parentheses. So where I see 4, I'm going to put, where I see X, I'm going to put 4. So 3 times 4, which is 12, minus 8 in parentheses. Then on the bottom, F of negative 5. So negative 5, I see an X, plus 7 equals 12 minus 8. So positives are made in negatives, so it's going to win. Positives are going to win by how many? By 4. And then negatives are made in positive. Who's going to win? Positives are going to win by how many? By 2. And then always simplify. Always simplify. So 4 divided by 2 is going to be 2. Okay. Now, I've also seen questions where they give it to you in terms of a graph, and you have to do it instead of giving you the functions. So let's do one of those to make sure we're okay. What's P of 4? Remember, that means where X is equal to 4. So I go to where X is equal to 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is 4. What's the value there? What's the Y value there? Okay, so when X is equal to 4, what is Y? It is equal to 0. What about when P is equal to 5? So when P is equal to 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the Y value is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's negative 5. Okay, and that's pretty much all there is. And when they give you this question, they might ask you to say, okay, what's P of, let me find another one so I can practice. P of 3, no, not 3, I'm sorry. P of 0 times P of...
This is a listening check. Put a box around negative 5.
Negative 4. So you need to find P of 0. So that's when X is equal to 0. So when X is equal to 0, what's Y? 1, 2, 3. So that'll be 3 times. And then P of negative 4, when X is equal to negative 4, negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4. Y is equal to 1. So 3 times 1, which would be equal to 3. So let's call this example. That was all 8. All right, so let's call this number. So even if they give you a graph, it's okay. You just go find the X and then find the Y value and then do whatever it is that they're asking. And that's pretty much it.